everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video what we are going to talk about is tumblers. So we have a wide range of tumblers, all of them are done in the same method, and we're going to use the tumbler press for those today. What I'm actually going to show you how to print in this video is the 750ml glass tumbler. So these are sublimation coated glass, they take an image really well, they're a plastic lid and they come with the straw. But what we're going to cover in this video applies to the whole tumbler range, so you should be able to do any of them with what we cover here. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to move on to what you're going to need. So you'll need a mug press or a tumbler press. We're going to use a tumbler press in this video. This is the Prima heat press's tumbler press. So this press has an 11-ounce element in it, but they are longer to accommodate sort of the taller nature of the tumblers. You can also get away with using an 11-ounce element in a normal wood press, but obviously you're going to be limited to how the height of your print, as the element will be shorter. You're going to need a sublimation printer, so we've got the F100 Epson sublimation printer here. You're also going to need some sublimation paper. We're using the Prima sublimation paper. You'll need some sub ink. So we've got the Epson Genuines that come with the F100, and you're going to need a measuring tape. So you're going to need to figure out how to measure the area of your blank, and you'll also need some heat tape to attach the design to your blank while it's in the press. Once you've got all that together, then you're just going to have to pick your blank from this range. So before we do anything with the heat press, things like that, we're going to have to measure up our blank to find the printable area. So with the tumblers, there's a couple of things I want to cover while we're thinking about how big our artwork's going to be. So first things first, take your lid off, take your straw off. You're not going to need those until we're finished pressing them. You don't press those with the lid in. So when it comes to the tumbler presses like we've got here, that's got an 11-ounce tumbler press element in. Now as you'll see, that covers most of the height of the tumbler press. So if you've got a tumbler press, you'll be able to use the maximum sort of print size of the blank. If you've only got an 11-ounce element, what you are going to have to bear in mind is the length should be kind of the same, so the measurement around. However, you're only going to be able to cover, I've got an old element here, you're only going to be able to cover certain areas of the blank. So in a minute I'm going to get Sam, our editor, to whack up a shot with all of the presses in the all of the blanks in the range. I can't speak today. All of the blanks in the range, and we're going to put the sort of maximum printable area on above all of the blanks. But just bear in mind that if you are using a 11-ounce element in a standard mug press, you are going to have to adjust the height of those to suit your element. You're going to want to keep the design within the actual heat pad of the element. If it's coming up, if it's laying over, you're going to start get blurring effects. Okay, so that's just something to bear in mind while we measure these blanks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut away now to the still shot of all the blanks, and you'll be able to see what the maximum print areas that you're working with are. Remember just to adjust those depending on what element you're using. So now that we've worked out the maximum printable area of the whole range, which you've seen, we're going to have a look at the item we're actually going to press today. And because I just want my design to be down the front of the tumbler, I'm just going to get a little tailor's tape measure. They're really handy, these little tailor's tape measures, because you can wrap them around. And I want to go to about 90mm. So that'll give me sort of that kind of area to play with. I want my design to be down there. Okay, so obviously you can adjust the width of your print depending on what you're actually putting on the blank. Right, now that we've got that measurement, I'm going to get it printed, and then we'll get to taping it on and get it in the press. There we go. So we've got our design printed out. Remember to mirror your designs, because we are going to decorate the surface of the blank, so you need that to be mirrored. All I've done is just roughly cut around it, so we can kind of see what we're working with. Just going to lay that down on the bench, and then I am going to make sure that the A is at the top, because you want it to read that way on. So we just line that up on there. Now the good thing with the sublimation paper is you can kind of see through it, so if you've got bold text like that, it makes it quite easy to line up. Then we just want to tape this to the blank. We're going to use a few bits of tape, and that's just going to lock it in place while it's in the press. There, and there we go. So that's now taped on. We're now going to put this into the press. Alright, so let's get the press set up. So we're going to switch it on, which we've done. And then we want this to be running at 185 degrees C. And we're going to run it for 120 seconds. Alright, so obviously how you set your press up will vary depending on what press you're using. But that is the settings we recommend. We'll just let that heat up and then we'll get it in. Brilliant, so our heat press is now sitting at 185 degrees. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the tumbler into the press. So if you're only doing a design like that, make sure that the part where your paper is actually facing the element. That means it's going to get the best heat from the element. So all I'm going to do is slide it in from the side like that, and then close the press. You want to be quite firm with these, but you don't want to go too over the top because you don't want to crack them. So just a nice firm pressure so that you can't move the blank when it's in the press. Brilliant, so that's in. We'll wait until that counts down and we'll see what results we get. Right, so we've just got a few seconds left on there. Once it beeps, we will take it out. There we go. So I'm just going to open the press, like so. I would recommend a heat glove or an oven glove or something to take these out because the glass will be very hot. So we'll get this over to the bench and we'll get it peeled off. Okay, just bear in mind this is still red hot. You want to get this print off as quickly as you can. I'm just going to pull away the tape. What you want to try and do is make sure the print doesn't bounce while you do this. You can get ghosting that way. So you just want to be nice and gentle with it. Loosen your tape. Like so. And then peel it off in one go. That bit's okay because it didn't move, and we get it off like that. There we go. Let's have a closer look at that. Alright guys, so that's all there is to it with the tumblers. So obviously we used the clear glass one in the video, but the same process applies to the whole range. So whether it's the frosted ones or the aluminium ones or any of the others, it's exactly the same as we've just done here. I do have a few tips to bear in mind while you're doing these. So the first one is on the clear glass, then you're best off sticking to bolder colours. So you see we've got the black there with some quite vivid reds and blues. They show up a lot better on these than say pastel colours, just because it is slightly transparent. But if you stick to really bright colours, you will get a really bright result like that. The other thing is let these cool down completely, and that goes for the whole range, before you put the plastic top on and the straw in. Obviously with the plastic top having a rubber seal on it, if you put that in hot, it can melt the plastic there, so you want to be careful of that. Now the other thing I get asked a lot about is, can I do a full wrap print on one of these, so print right the way around? The answer is yes, you can. The measurements that we've given you in this video are what our recommended maximum print size is, and that accounts for the fact that the elements in the mug presses and things don't meet at the top, so that leaves you a gap to get your print in. What you can do is some people will do a full press for most of it, then they will open the press, spin the blank and put it back in for a shorter second press, just to cover the bits that element wasn't done. Again, how long you leave that and things, that would be something that you'd have to experiment with your own setup. But that really covers the whole product. So yeah, absolutely fantastic product. We've got loads more tutorials and stuff coming on the channel. If you've got any questions or any answers, get them in the comments below, or ask us on any of our socials, which will all be appearing at the end of the video. But yeah, that's it from me, and happy sublimating everybody.